Okay guys, just reached the most northern and western part, I believe, of the trip for me today. We are on the map. We are right here. Can't see the little town. You probably can't see it because of the glare, but it's Summerville, Georgia, and we're gonna head south now back toward Atlanta. Should be all this should be good roads. All of this is either excellent or good roads. Well, not excellent, very good. Unfortunately, there are no excellent roads according to Butler on my trip today, but we may disagree. We'll just have to look and see. Alrighty, well, while we're getting started on this, I did have a topic that occurred to me, and it's a real general one and open to lots and lots of discussion, I'm sure. But the word is ego. Now, we all know what an ego is. We all know people that we think have a really big ego. Maybe we think they think too much of themselves, and that they're a more important person than they really are, or something like that. But I'm not really thinking of it in terms of other people. I'm thinking about it in terms of me. I really don't think I have much of an ego, and I mean that to my detriment as well as to my credit. I've always been a follower. I'm not much of a leader. You know, they say, you know, I'm not a good chief, but I'm a good Indian. You know, but I think I am a good Indian. The hallmark for me of somebody that has a good ego, a good healthy ego, is somebody who can, you know, who has confidence, who feels that they can, oh, hey bird, that feels they can lead a group, do the right things, make the right decisions, things like that. Well, I don't usually, I'm not much of a person that way, and I score high on those tests. You know, it says, who do you want with you when you have a disaster like a tornado and a hurricane and all that stuff. But everybody really scores pretty high on those, even if you're not suited for it. But I'm pretty level-headed. I do have a temper. I keep it very tightly under wraps. I've got friends that have never ever seen me angry, and I've got a few that have, and they kind of wish they hadn't, I'm sure. But really, I'm just a big old pussycat now. But as far as ego goes, I mean, I'm not confrontational. You know, if you screw me over, you know, I go in someplace and buy something, feel like I've been taken advantage of, been screwed over or something like that, I'm not going to go in there and kick somebody's butt or, you know, call the law or anything like that. I'm just going to, you know, chances are I'm just going to write it off as experience for me to know never to come back. And I'll tell some people about it, you know, and let them make their own decisions on something like that. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, what kind of person are you? I know I follow some of you guys, and it's funny, you laugh and you get real upset while you're riding sometimes, and then you kind of talk yourselves back down out of it and say, well, you know, I shouldn't really be that way. I really need to be better and all that stuff. And, you know, I know temper might be a part of ego. I mean, I just don't know. But like I said, I've always thought I'd be a better follower than an Indian. I mean, you know, you can give me a task to do and I'll go do it. I've been in a couple of situations where I had to be a leader. When I moved out to where I live now in North Carolina, when I built my house out there, there was a community swimming pool, and it wasn't cheap to join it. It was, I think it was about $750 just to join it, and then after that, $100 to $150 a year or something like that. Not really a lot, and we really wanted to join because we were going to have young kids, and we wanted to teach them how to swim, which is the most important thing. Well, let's say it's one of the most important things you can do to teach your kids is how to swim. In this day and age, that is just something that is so preventable. Even if you don't know how, make sure your kids do. You know, somebody can drown in a foot of water, but if you know, if they know how to swim, if they're comfortable in the water, they're not going to have a problem in 100 feet of water. At least they're going to have a chance. But anyway, get back to my point. So we joined this club because I like to swim, and you know, we wanted the kids there, and we wanted to get the kids to have lessons and all that stuff. Well, a club like that, you got to have a president, a vice president, you got to have board members and all that stuff to make the decisions as far as repairs and maintenance and scheduling, and you know, oh, that's nice, man, oh, I'd like to have a dirt bike here. But all that, you know, all those things that have to do to run a successful club. And I got roped into being, what it was, I think they said they needed a vice president. Nobody would do it. They wanted a vice president. They said I wouldn't have to do anything because the president had all the duties, and you know, the secretary did all the other stuff. And really, the vice president was really, you know, just along to help and be somebody they could call on to help with stuff and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Well, that was a line of bull. I became president the next year because no one would run for president, and it turns out in the bylaws that if nobody will run for president, the vice president the year before has the duty to become the president. Now, I could have refused, but you know, I just said, well, you know, it's our club, we use it. I want to help out and be part of the club, so I decided to go ahead and be the president. Well, it worked out okay. I mean, I really didn't have much to do. You call a couple of meetings during the year, all blah, blah, blah. Well, the big thing you have, oh, this is cool right through here. The big thing you have to do is to get the pool ready every year. So that meant they had to go in there and make sure the pool was filled with water because it was drained every year. We had to go in there and you had to start the hoses about a week and a half early so you could fill the whole pool up. And but you had to go in there and clean it. You know, stuff gets in the pool. Clean it, scrape it down, and all this stuff. Well, it had a tile border on it, and the tile was old and chipped, and would fall off in the wintertime when water would get behind it. So you'd have to go and repair all that. You'd have to get the bathrooms ready, all this stuff. Had a bathroom that froze over the wintertime. We were supposed to get all the water out of it. The previous president didn't, apparently, and it froze, so I had to go buy a toilet and install that. But the long and short of it was, I published a date for our work day, one work day, the weekend before we were scheduled to open. And you know how many people showed up? 0. That's exactly right. Nobody showed up. And I'll bet we had 80 or 90 paying members at that club that came and joined, you know, that brought their kids out there and swam, and they were expecting it all ready to go, you know, that first day that it was open. So I worked my fanny off that day and got it all done. But I like this road. But I learned my lesson. You know, first of all, they always say if you're in the military, never volunteer. Well, if you're in a club, never volunteer unless you're prepared. But see, I wasn't a good leader. I didn't ask, you know, I didn't pitch a fit. I didn't say, okay, we're gonna close the pool for, you know, 1 week longer until I can get somebody out here to help me. I just went ahead and did it, and my wife came out and helped, and you know, we got it done. We got it all ready to go, and it was ready to open up that first day. And I promptly resigned as president because I could see that I was not a leader. I didn't have the ego that I needed to have in order to call people and cajole them, and oh wow, how about that, a llama? And cajole them and to push them and to make them come out and help me. I just thought it was less trouble, less effort, less everything, just easier if I just went ahead and did it myself. And that's pretty much been my whole life. You give me something to do, I'll go do it. I can work with other people, but only if there's a leader that tells everybody what to do and gives us tasks and do that. I can't work with a bunch of people if there isn't somebody to lead them, and I can't lead them because I just as soon do it myself and do it at my schedule, my pace, do it the way I want to do it, And I'm not a stickler for you know, details or making something exactly the right way or the perfect way, but I'll make it work, you know. But anyway, what do you feel about this kind of thing? You know, am I confusing ego with something else? What do you think about it? What's your ego like? Alrighty, well, I'm just going to enjoy some of this road, so I'll clip out here and we'll clip back in on the next section.